Now let's talk about why Amazon Web Services. Why AWS? I would like to ask a question to the people over here. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of other perspectives. Like, what is gonna be, what can I say? Why AWS? Actually, I've seen something in your, have you surfed through in the internet or not? Actually, I don't know. But from your perspective, why are you choosing AWS as a major cloud platform? Let's take some answers from people, then we can start with this, why AWS is
Uh,
all.
AWS is actually one of the biggest like providing cloud computing solutions in the market.
Mhm.
Major of the stakes, like almost 30-40% more than that, is of AWS.
Okay, got it. Is there any other answers would you like to produce?
Cost saving.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the cost saving.
Cost savings. Okay, got it.
And the geographical sites, and what you can say, number of data centers.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
It is
fine.
providing throughout
Okay, fine.
the.
Yes, the answers what you provided is almost correct. Like because I have any slide over here, but I'm just giving you an day-to-day life example. But why AWS? Why? Because this question I've also taken into myself when I started to learn AWS. Because AWS is one of the first and foremost company, like one of the first and foremost cloud providers. And what happens is nothing but they do a lot of services. Right? There are a lot of services. And very important thing is that a lot of companies are starting to use AWS. I'm not saying that they are not using Azure or they're not using GCP. And most of the companies are using all the three clouds. I do know one company when I attended and what may I say a conference in the last 2 months back. I was just introduced to a company. I don't want to mention the company name, right? So they said that we started a journey in terms of cloud through Azure first of all. Then we started to have AWS too. Then we had GCP, and I was just asking to them why there was three clouds. They said that we want to experience each and everything. Right. So we want to experience each and everything. As its stuff is already more there, and we actually taking a reviews from our what can I say developers point of view. AWS is the more major, easiest one for each and every developers to use. Right? Because if we get into an Azure thing, the thing will be a bit more complex compared to AWS. Right. This is the one thing, and Amazon Web Services has been a very what can I say popular among each and every company over here. Okay, because here I've also given you an example from Netflix. That because Netflix is one of the important platform on the OTT platform. But because in a COVID time, each and every person has a Netflix account and start to use it, right? And officially, I think so on the time of COVID time, what happens? I think, but they have moved all the resources to an AWS cloud. They use open source, they use the databases, NoSQL, DynamoDB, etc., etc. And they also, what can I say, stored every video contents inside the AWS cloud. They officially migrated their on-premises server into an AWS cloud, and they started to provide the personalization based on the customer schedule. Right. So this is why AWS has been a very pioneer in terms of cloud providers, and it is very important thing you need to know, guys. And there are a lot of other services you're also using in day-to-day life. First and foremost thing is Gmail, because in terms of Gmail, for each and every account, you will get a 15 gigabytes of storage. But haven't you thought that where is the 15 gigabytes of storage is there? Inside your computer? No, inside the Google data center and it's being provided through a cloud. So you can store up to 15%, 15 gigabytes of storage. Fine. Let's get into, and now people know about, I think so, people who are new here into the training you know right now, can you understand about what is all about AWS, what is all about cloud, and what is the difference between the traditional based computing and than the cloud? And right now, why AWS is more important? If it not so, we can start. We can put you in a case, and we'll start with an example instance scenario, so that it might help you a lot. Have you understood?
Yes, Raghul. Basically, as per my knowledge and some experience, actually, scalability is a very good option which cloud provides us. On-demand delivery, okay, easy to implement, and it gives us a very robust solution.
Hmm. Got it. Yes, you are getting into the correct perspective, but make sure to understand that the on-premises part was totally taken over by totally taken over by cloud. But some of these solutions will be possible only in terms of on-premises. Okay, there are a lot of some other lot of solutions we need to know about it. We'll try to talk that when we are taking over to the next sections of the class. Okay.
Sure, sure. Thanks.
Okay. So is there anyone not able to understand?
It is kind of infrastructure as a service, right?
Ah, it's not kind of an infrastructure as a service. Why? Because you are getting into a point of view that cloud provides only the infrastructure. Not cloud provides everything. Cloud provides you the platform. Cloud provides you the software.
Platform.
You can everything it gives.
Yep.
So you don't want to think in kinds of that as cloud only is an infrastructure as a service. Cloud provides everything what you need. It's since I said it's an on-demand delivery of IT resources. Now we are getting into point of view is only as an infrastructure. No, it provides you a platform. It can also provide you a software. We can use that inside your what can I say solutions too. Correct? Is it okay for you now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. I think so. We'll start with the next one. So I don't want to talk a lot about it because this is the big basics, and I will share you this thing to your group so you can just get into it. This is what I need to know. This is what I need to teach you. The first thing is all about the three deployment models of the cloud. The first thing is all about the private cloud. Second thing is all about the public cloud. And third thing is all about the hybrid cloud. And from the name, you might get into the point of view. Private cloud is a cloud which has been designated only for the personal use. Like if I'm a person and if I want a cloud designated for my instances or for my resources, then I'll be opting it for private cloud. There will be no, it's a complete control. We have a security over there. And for example, it depends upon the specific business needs. If you want for each and every customers, we want a designated cloud which has higher security, then provision them the private cloud to them, right? That's going to be the it depends upon the specific business needs. For example, Rackspace Cloud is one of the like designated to the company, and they'll not expose the content hosted in the cloud to the public. So this is one example. Public. So you can take an example of your Google Cloud, which provides you a Google Drive. AWS is also a public cloud. You can extend your resources to an outer world, and Microsoft Azure too. So it's a public cloud where you can share your resources to the outside world, and it's like it's tough, right? Whenever you share your resources, it might reach everyone, and there is no security bound over there. But you can also protect your data through security, right? We'll talk about that. And hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but 50% of data, 50% of storage in cloud, and 50% of storage is going to be inside the on-premises. Now let get into me a question. I want to get into a question. What data you're going to put inside the infrastructure and what data you're going to put inside the cloud when you're putting into an hybrid cloud? Any ideas? The people who are already attended, please don't answer so that it might be a good start for them. Those who are not are already attended. Just give your guess. So it's not going to be an issue. Just give your guess. If it is going to be wrong, then I'm going to say
Your
explicitly. No,
web server should be in a cloud.
which one?
Web server or like user facing server should be in a cloud. Database you can keep it on premises.
Not so. Like you can also keep your databases
Sensitive
in cloud,
data,
right?
yeah, sensitive data should be on premise, and rest you can go to the cloud.
Why are you suggesting that
Or
sensitive data should be in on-premises and the rest of other
uh,
data should be inside the cloud?
we can have a control, like direct control over it, right?
Why don't you think that if there is any security wall behind cloud.
Yeah,
Just
So this
particularly from the bank's perspective, like they don't allow sensitive data to be put on cloud, whether it is like secure or not. Mostly they are not doing it as a part of the securing.
okay,
those
I
which
got it.
require less resources should be on cloud, so that
I'm
it will
sorry.
be those instances which will be requiring less resources, which will, I mean, economically viable.
Not like that. So you can also provide mutually other things too. But I would like to have I can't able to get your name. Those who answered at the last.
Me, Harshad.
Yes, Ashit. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Your name
Yeah,
is okay, Realme RMX
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Yeah. This is not my phone actually. I have connected from the phone right now.
No issues, no issues. So
Yeah.
the answer what he said is actually good. Why? Because he answered from this, what can I say, professional point of view in such a way that I'm working in a bank system. I don't want to expose my data, what can I say, data of my customers or data of anything else to a cloud, which might lead to an exposure to some other else. They can just try to easily attack the cloud and start using it, and all the other data like so that what happens, I think, but the data should be which is going to be very more sensitive, I'll start to provide inside the start to store inside the on premises. And other data, like if I'm going to go into with some other cases, right, rest of all the other data like invoices, some other extras is what we have inside the banking, they'll push inside the cloud. So this is actually the correct answer. Why? Because don't think that the person who's already in the cloud is not asking you to store the secured content inside the cloud. Why I'm not suggesting is that we can't able to have everything in advance, right? Even though AWS is much more secure, you have a lot of security measures you can go ahead with guard duty and certifications point of view can provide a ACM certification manager. Everything is available, but I would say that hackers can be from anywhere else. But because on-premises services are much more safer than the cloud services. But this is one of the advantages of on-premises. But what happens over there is nothing but the cost of bidding and on-premises infrastructures is huge and enough. Okay, that's why now the companies have started to migrate the data to the cloud, which is not much sufficient. Like I don't want it much more. It is not going to be what they say sensitive one for me, but I needed it, so I need to push it to the cloud so that I can reduce my cost of what they say bidding my infrastructure. So thanks to Mr. Eng, so he just answered the question correctly. So this is all about the 6 advantages of cloud computing. Like I've already said, some of the cloud computing advantages, which is straight capital expenses for operational expenses. Like you need to reduce the total cost of ownership, which is nothing but the total cost, what you're going to use it to bid your infrastructure, like bid your service, we can reduce it. And it's pay on demand. As I said, you don't want to own a hardware, you're going to rent an hardware. After using it, you're going to delete the resources. And benefits from massive economies of scale. Like you're not going to, what can I say, think a lot about you want to build a massive economies of scale for setting up a large server or large infrastructure in a company. It's very easy to bid everything in the cloud. Then third thing is all about stop guessing your capacity. Third thing is all about stop guessing your capacity, but because it's scaled based on your actual measured usage, so you're not gonna just stop guessing your capacity. You can, what can I say, scale it accordingly, depends upon your resources, what you have. And increased speed and agility, as I said, and stop spending money running and maintaining the data centers. Go global in Linux, leverage the AWS global infrastructure. We're going to talk about the AWS global infrastructure in the next consecutive classes. And some of you have answered that in the chat, I think so, which is nothing but the next topic, what we're going to see, which is nothing but the types of cloud computing, the services which is being provided by cloud. First thing is all about infrastructure as a service. One person have answered that it's one of the infrastructure. So it is one of it. Infrastructure as a service is nothing but a services which is available inside the cloud computing, which provides all the infrastructure you need. infrastructure in such a way that the operating system, patching, hardware, networking, and etc. And it also provides a high level of flexibility, and it also have a parallel overview. You can also work with what may say load balancing, scaling groups, automatic scaling groups. You can increase your number of instances, decrease your number of instances, depends upon the number of incoming requests what you're going to get to your service. So this is one thing, infrastructure as a service. Second thing is all about the platform as a service. So what is a platform as a service? Nothing but like you have all the code, like you have all that working code in your hand, but you don't have a platform to deploy. Don't think about having an on-premises platform or go and fetch a new platform. Go ahead with the cloud. Cloud has a lot of platforms that is available. Start deploying it. So that's all about it. Thirdly, is all about the software as a service. It's SaaS. Because here, people over here, people might have worked with SaaS product, but because I'm also working in a SaaS product in machine learning point of view, the major thing is all about that. It's a complete software product, like Amazon recognition or some other stuff what we have. So that's so Amazon recognition and some other stuff what we have. So it's a complete software product. You can use it as a software, and its examples nothing but the LCNC pattern, the low code, no code SaaS product what you have. Fine. So this stuff you already know, and I would like to take this in a point of view in a very simple thing. So what is the global infrastructure? Where are you going to start deploying your cloud services? The very important thing. First thing, the AWS regions. Region is nothing but the data, like it's nothing but the whole space which consists of where you can able to start deploying your AWS services. Inside regions, you have availability zones, right? Inside regions, you have availability zones. Let me just go through that thing. I'll share one of my screen from here, so to understand a little bit of using diagram. Now it's okay, right?
We got the keypad.
Yeah.
I'm writing
Yeah.
something. You're able to see that, right?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we were just talking about the AWS global infrastructure, right? So that's the major thing what we are focusing on it. So the first thing where we need to start with the global infrastructure is nothing but your AWS regions. Guys, I'm just writing something. If you want to take it down, you can also take it down. And this is very basic thing. Like what can I say? People who are new to cloud, you need to know something in advance, and this is you need to know, guys. So just going to with some basic stuffs. So the first thing what you guys want to know is nothing but the regions. What is all about a region? So a region is nothing but a whole space what you have in AWS. I'll just show you a global infrastructure from Amazon.com, which will also help you provide you an other aspects too. And inside a region, you might have three availability zones. And these three availability zones are technically called as data centers. Okay. And let me just provide you. This is going to be one region. And inside this region, I have one availability zone, AZ1, and this is going to be AZ2, and this is going to be AZ3. Technically, these AZ1, AZ2, AZ3 are connected with each other. Okay, fine. So, can anyone say that what is the region name which is available in India?
Mumbai is there. Hyderabad is there. And I think so. Chennai.
No, one Mumbai and Hyderabad only. Chennai is not yet started.
Okay.
Mumbai and Hyderabad. And inside Mumbai, you have three availability zones. And inside
Okay.
Hyderabad, you also have three availability zones. Fine?
Okay.
Got it. So give me another point of view, right? Why these three availability zones inside? Let me say that this is AP South 1. AP South 1 is a code which is being given for Mumbai. Give me an instance that why these three availability zones. This is AZ1, AZ2 and AZ3 need to be connected to each other.
It's for backup, disaster recovery.
Got it? I think so. You might know a lot about it. I'm taking on much the basic stuff. Okay. So yes, what happens is nothing but let's say you have three availability zones. If any one of the availability zone got some disaster, and unfortunately this availability zone has been attacked due to disaster, the resources what has been already stored inside AZ1 can be accessed through AZ2 and AZ3. This is the first thing you need to know. Okay, got it? Is there any doubts you have?
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, what is all about the edge locations? What is all about the edge locations? Edge locations are nothing but one of the other perspectives present inside a region. And a very important stuff about edge locations, nothing but which provides lower latency. Lower latency is nothing but the distance, the covering measures what you need to break it up. Now, this is all about edge locations, and we talked about availability zones. We talked about AWS regions too. Now, answer to me a question. The question is that how to choose an AWS region?
Which is close to our organization.
That's very simple. Yes, close to close to the organization. Why I need to choose close to an organization? Why not I can choose something which is far from the organization?
Latency.
Latency. Okay, fine. That's going to be the first measure what we're going to take, which is latency. Then, is there any other point you would like to add? Any stuffs, any kind of stuffs. Second thing is nothing but, let's say you're going to choose a region, which is AP South 1, right? And I'm going to use any one of the servers. Like if I'm not, like I want to use AWS SageMaker, but it is already available. AWS SageMaker is a machine learning service. But unfortunately, it is not available inside the AP South 1. Now what happens? Any ideas? Try to answer so that let's get into an interesting point of view. So you need to use a service for your solution. You have chosen region as an AP South 1, and which is close to an organization so that it has lower latency. But unfortunately, SageMaker is a service what you try to use, but it is not available inside region. What do you like to do?
So we can choose next available nearby to the
That's the
location.
very important case you need to know. You are supposed to use the next nearest AZ or next nearest region. This is the second stuff you need to know, guys. There are a lot of other stuff. I like to give you an overview about it, and whenever we go into the slides, we talk a lot about it. So you are supposed to keep two things in your mind when you're choosing an AWS region. First thing, it should be closest to your organization or closest to you. And second thing, even though it is closest to you, you need to know whether the service is available inside the particular region or not. And from this perspective, I would like to add a note in such a way that all these services will not be available in all the regions. Okay, and people know about Bedrock, and people, since some of you are in tech background, but inside the network background, right? People know about Bedrock over here. The recent release from AWS point of view. People know about Bedrock. If you don't, if you know, if you know means you can just say yes. If you don't know, it's not an issue at all. You start learning about that thing too, but it's not going to be a point.
Not aware.
Got it. Fine. So Bedrock isn't servers. Okay, I'll just say a one line about it. Bedrock is an AWS serverless service which has been used to deploy your generative AI models. And people know about what generative AI is, right? At least a bit about it. No?
No.
Okay, no issues. We'll talk about that when we are
No.
covering the machine learning services in our stuffs. Generative AI is another form of AI which has been much more revolving it right now, and AWS is very much what can I say, very keen to it and started to release some of the services too. Okay, guys. So this is the two important things you need to keep in your minds when you're starting when you're taking a part, when you're putting into an AWS global infrastructure, right? Okay. I would like to do one more thing. Let's show you some graphical overview. Okay. So this is what we are talking about. Global infrastructure. And we talked about regions, how to choose an AWS region, availability zone, which are nothing but more or less data centers and edge locations for low latency. Let me put it in the case. I think so you can't able to view the screen that. Let me share it. Now we can able to see my Chrome, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is nothing but the AWS global infrastructure, what I was talking about. So we do have 33 launched regions with multiple availability zones in each and every region. And at most, you can have 3 availability zones in one region. Okay. And we have 105 availability zones with 600 plus points of presence with 13 regional edge cases. And you can look over here. Okay, so you can look over here in Hyderabad, we have, which is being launched at 2022, which has 3 availability zones. And in Mumbai, which was launched in 2016, you have 3 availability zones with 2 local zones. And some of you from Malaysia, I will check if there is anything available in Malaysia. I think so. Malaysia, it's still the AWS is not yet been announced, but coming soon. In Singapore, you have 3 availability zones with 2 local zones, and which is nearest to Malaysia is nothing but the Singapore. I think so. You can able to choose that at Jakarta. You can choose that thing, and you may able to see this chart, which is also provides you a preferred thing where you can know to use at the nearest availability zone if the service is not available for the particular availability zone. Okay, so it's very important perspective I would like to show you now. Okay,
What is
people
local
understand about,
zone?
huh?
I mean, you get local zone. Apart in Mumbai, there are 3 availability zones and
Mhm.
2 local zones. What is that mean?
We'll talk about the local zones when we are deploying our infrastructure, right? I'll try to
Okay,
deploy an infrastructure in local zone, which will help you a lot, right? Ah, laptop got stuck. Hmm. Okay. The next thing what we're gonna cover is called as shared responsibility model. What's the time now? So we have almost yeah, it's 11. Okay. So let's talk about the shared responsibility model. What is shared responsibility model from your point of view? Right? Why? Because I would like to take this introduction with your basic understanding. That's why I'm asking a lot of questions, right? Since you're already not in cloud, but I need to know about some basic understanding from you guys to make sure that it will be a much more interactive session for me. What is shared responsibility? Shared responsibility model.
So AWS will take responsibility of availability of the infrastructure,
Mhm.
and customer has to take the responsibility of data and security.
I think so. The answer which was provided by you is the kind of one what I want to talk to about it. This is the shared responsibility model. AWS will provide your responsibility for the security of the cloud, like the compute, storage, databases, networking, regions, availability zones, edge locations, etc., etc. AWS will provide you the responsibility, but the entire thing like the other thing, like the client-side data, server-side encryption, network traffic, operating systems, platforms, customer data, everything should be your responsibility. This is what the shared responsibility model is, and this is the first thing you need to know whenever you're getting into a security point of view. Right? Why? Because people might show that yeah, cloud is much more secure. I have a lot of what can I say security service. AWS will provide security only for its perspective. Remaining else stuff like for the data, everything stuff, you need to be more responsible. Like you don't want to provide the data in such a way that it might be not like that. You should be responsible for that, and that responsibility will make sure it will be effective. Effective when you are trying to put it in another other case. Okay, so please keep a note that customer is the responsibility for the security in the cloud. Whatever data, what you put inside the cloud, like the customer data, the platform, client-side data, server-side encryption, etc., etc. The response, the data. This is what the customer you should be responsible for, and AWS is responsible for having an infrastructure. Like if I want to take up in the case, right, the compute one, the storage, like the database is providing networks, and it provides you the global infrastructures like regions, availability zones, edge locations, etc., stuff. AWS is also responsible for. Got it? Okay. Is there any doubts in a shared responsibility model would like to ask?